Right. Okay. So welcome everyone to our Expert 2021 series, the last one for 2021, so that everyone can have a wonderful, nourishing, really long break in December. So looking forward to January when we continue, of course. Thank you very much for taking the time. This year has been super busy, I think, for everyone. And yes, we've already got Louis putting in there where you are from. That's what we usually start with. Can you please just throw into the chat box where you are from so that we know, get to know a little bit about the geographic, of today's crowd. And lovely to see you all. And very briefly, we've been doing these talks this is our third year now, so quite amazing. And this year we've had case studies. We've worked on how to get new clients for language coaching. Also, we had a talk on challenging biases with the learner autonomy. So we're going to be connecting to that a little bit today with our presenter, and also learner perfectionism. What else? Managing inner states, and of course, graphic language coaching, and how to work with struggles that language learners have through coaching. So very mixed bag this year. And today we're going to have a wonderful new talk with Jo Szőke, Johanna Szőke, okay? So great to introduce her, and the slides are yours, and welcome.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Gabi. Yeah, I go by Jo in the English professional world. I'm very, very happy to welcome all of you. Here we go. So I could see that you're from a lot of places. And it's very, very exciting. I could see Anna is from Ukraine. I thought you were actually Hungarian, but or maybe you are. You are in Ukraine. So I'm very happy to welcome all of you, and let's see what we have for today. We're going to talk about autonomous learning in the online world, as you can see. And I just want to share with you what I planned. We're going to look at who you think an autonomous learner is, then why is it good to encourage autonomy, how we can do it, what are the steps and tools, and then we're going to put it into practice with, if we have time for it, with learner profiles that I prepared for today, and then your comments and questions. And I'm really hoping that you're going to have some questions or comments to discuss. So let's get started. And this is my first activity for you, actually. Who you think is an autonomous learner. And since there are not that many of us, you might want to either unmute yourselves and speak up, or just put your ideas in the chat. That's totally fine. I'm going to actually add your ideas onto the slides. So it's going to be your content. So who do you think we can call an autonomous learner? Oh, somebody said very good. Independent learning. Okay, that's very good. I'm actually going to, edit this. Okay, and add your ideas onto the slide right away. So we've got independent, somebody who's independent. Okay, what else do you think characterizes it? Ooh, lots of ideas coming in now. Okay, takes responsibility for their own learning. Thank you, Aggie. Someone that understands what coaching is and seeks it out. Very, very important. Thank you, Carrie. Okay, so we basically have takes responsibility. This seems to be a key thing here. Responsible again. Thank you, Dilnoza. Okay. Seeks out coaching opportunities. Okay. Very good. What else? Oh, that's amazing. Someone can guide their own learning path. Exactly. Oh, someone watches recorded lessons. Liz, if you can unmute yourself, or if you wish to, why do you think so? Or how does that relate?
I think I'm getting it mixed up with, what's the word for when you don't have class in real time? There's a word for that.
Asynchronous learning.
That's what I'm getting it mixed up. Never mind me. I haven't had enough going back on.
No, but you're in a way, you're totally right, because an autonomous learner would like to take part in asynchronous lessons, and they are interested, and then they will take the time from their own schedule to join async lessons. So in a way, that's totally fine. Absolutely.
That's true. That's true. Okay, good.
Cool. Thank you. Okay. So it basically seems that what you're saying is that responsibility is a key thing here, and somebody who's independent enough. So I'm going to show you what research says. And you said a lot of good things here, that we have responsibility. Here we go. Ready to take on responsibilities. They understand the goal of an activity. I'm actually going from the back towards the top. With the goal of the activity, we can help us in the coaching process to let them understand why something is happening, why we're doing certain things, and then they can take on this responsibility and, so, as somebody said, guide this learning path. They are aware, and they can be aware of many things, their own learning style, learning strategies that work for them. They might not be aware of learning strategies that they don't know yet, so we can help with that, show them certain things, make them try certain things, and then they can become more aware of these things. Self-evaluation is going to be important. We're going to talk about that. The ability to understand why or how I'm performing at a certain task, why I did what I did, how can I become better, is, I think, crucial to the coaching process. I have to say about my background that I'm not actually a coach, although I know a lot about language coaching, and I think I'm using some of your methods while I'm teaching my students, but I'm not a certified coach. But it is, and usually one-to-one teaching can be a little bit similar to a coaching process if you take your one-to-one teaching kind of seriously and try to really make your learner become a participant in this process. And that's why the second point is important, that they believe they can manage their own learning. We also need to make them believe that they can do this, and they are an active participant in this. And they have intrinsic motivation. One of the most important things, I'm pretty sure you experienced that. Well, without proper intrinsic motivation, it's pretty hard to have an autonomous person on the other side. It can be, I'm not saying that extrinsic motivation is not good. Because if they have some motivation coming from outside and that pushes them really to be better and then to do what they want to do, that's very good. But we will use this intrinsic motivation and exploit it for our purposes. So let's see how this is going. We're gonna do it, or we can create autonomous learners in 3 steps. First, we raise awareness. This is something I said before. We need to make them become aware of who they are and what autonomy is. Then we slowly change their attitude. So we show them things, we make them try things, we ask what they think. So reflection is going to be crucial in this process to check whether they like what they were shown or they wish to go in a different direction. And then when they seem to have found what they are comfortable with, we can transfer roles to them. So that means correcting own things, monitoring performance, watching certain things that teachers tend to watch. They can do it themselves, so they can actually become their own teacher or coach at the same time. And we will do this right now. And this is my first breakout room activity for you. We're going to do this with ourselves. So I'd like you to think about yourselves and think about who you are and what kind of a learner you are. So I'm showing you a couple of keywords here. So we've got, oh, I just realized I missed an A there. I'm going to correct that actually. So whether you are risk averse or a risk taker, whether you are ambiguity tolerant or intolerant. Now, just to make sure we understand the terms, when you're ambiguity tolerant, you don't mind seeing unknown words in text. You don't worry or get nervous when something unknown is coming up, when you hear a word in a conversation you don't understand. And an ambiguity intolerant person would worry about this. They would stop, they would ask for help, they would look for a dictionary. They cannot really tolerate ambiguity. That's why they are ambiguity intolerant. The others, are you an extrovert, introvert? Are you analytically thinking about things or intuitively? I'm giving you only these pairs to think about. If you'd like to see them when you are talking, I'm gonna quickly, I think I can make a quick screenshot of it, and then I can send it to you in the chat so you can refer back to it, okay? But right now I'm going to actually stop the share and send you the image and put you in breakout rooms, because what I would like you to do is discuss who you think you are and why you think that can matter in this coaching process, why you think it could be good for a client as well as for you to know what kind of a learner you are. So I'm going to just quickly find the image I saved. Hopefully I will find it. Yes, here it is. Okay. So in case you want to work with it, then I think I just send it over to you, and I'll put you, right? Okay, one more try. Now I can modify the rooms. Perfect. Okay, very good. So I'm going to have 3 breakout rooms with 3 to 4 people in them. And I'll give you 4 minutes max, okay, with the 60 seconds of coming back as well. So you will get 4 minutes tops to discuss who you think you are and why you think it matters in this whole autonomy process. Okay, let's go.
You put me in too.
Oh, don't go away. Then don't go in. I don't know if you can do that. Where are you? Oh, and Tim, what?
Tim's.
Okay,
good. Everyone's gone. So I can join anyone, right?
If you want to.
Okay.
But don't feel compelled to.
I don't know. I'll just listen in a bit, okay? Just for a minute.
Yeah, me too, I think.
Okay. You can keep talking because we need something in the recording.
Oh, okay.
Then what should we say? I mean, okay. Actually, I might stay then, and we can. I actually really liked these pairs that you threw up. Can you show those to us now?
What do you?
The circles with the pairs that we had.
Oh yeah, sure.
So the recording, we have something to talk about in the recording. I just realized. Yes. So I really like this risk averse, risk taker, ambiguity tolerant, intolerant. It's a little bit like, food allergy, but I like these. I like it. And I was just thinking which type I am, and I think these pairs are really good. And of course, I think that there would be so many more circles, so many pairs that you can add to these. Like
absolutely.
And it's all about preferences. We don't talk about learner styles now, but more about preferences in the way that we like to be learning and understanding things. But I think things like being visual or kinesthetic or, audio based with the input that you like, so that can help your learning a little bit more. Any other ideas that you have personally when the way you like learning languages?
Well, yeah, it's a very interesting question, because as a teacher trainer, I always talk about ambiguity tolerance and let's be a risk taker. But actually, when I learn languages, I'm pretty much ambiguity intolerant.
Wow.
I'm a perfectionist. I cannot tolerate mistakes, and I'm very hard on myself. So it's very, very difficult, even though I think I should be intuitive. I should be very like going out there and trying my best. But
So
yeah,
it's a little bit like you are very aware as a teacher trainer, but yet your preference is still to be, you know, strengthening that perfectionist vein that you have. And that's
Yeah.
quite a very interesting mix, isn't it?
I'm also pretty much aware that I definitely go into a different role when I'm a student. So when I study and I talk with my teacher, I'm definitely a student, and then I forget this teacher identity I have, and I'm always saying sorry when I make a mistake. And yeah, it's an interesting thing to
I think
know.
it's very important for teachers to be learning languages. I mean, I just took up my German a few months ago, and it's such a mind-blowing experience, you know, because it's just changing everything you know about yourself. Okay.
I can totally relate, and I just closed the breakout room.
Right,
Yeah.
okay, so you've got 1 minute. Right, okay.
Yeah, but I totally agree with that. Yeah, being a language learner yourself can be very, very insightful.
Because your experience, exactly, you know, practice what you preach. So
that's right.
Always that element, and it's hard. It's very hard. So I can totally, you know, empathize and sympathize with all of my learners, because I just wrote to my teacher that I've got no homework.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
absolutely.
life. Yeah. All right. Okay.
Yeah. All right.
Coming back, right?
Yeah. I just.
Okay. Here we've got Anna. Hello.
Oh.
Okay, and hopefully we haven't lost everyone else in virtual space, right?
Yeah. Maybe I'm not sure if I stopped screen sharing. Maybe I stopped it, or you stopped it.
So yeah, everyone's coming back now. Wonderful.
Okay.
All right, great.
Yeah. Very good. Okay.
Good, wonderful.
Yes. I just corrected my little typo there. So I'm really curious what you discussed, and I hope you became more aware of your own learning style. And I'll just ask a couple of you what you had in mind. So for some reason, I cannot see my cursor, but I'm just going to say room 1, whoever was in room 1. Can you just share quickly what these circles made you think?
I don't know what room I was in.
Liz, I'm just very happy if you go ahead.
Okay, yeah. So Tim and I were in a room together, and we talked a little bit about how culturally these categories can apply to individuals, but they can also apply to cultures. And he lives and works in Eastern Europe, or he lives in Poland, and I teach mostly Japanese people. And so we were talking about how being in those environments can also affect it. And I said, you know, Japanese people tend to be sort of reserved, introverted, which is fine as long as it's, you know, everybody's the same. But when you have Japanese students together with South American students, for example, and you have really introverted people and really extroverted together, it can be hard in a group setting. As a coach, I don't really have group settings that much. But anyway, those are a few things we touched on.
That's very, very good. Yeah, this cultural background is also very important, and sometimes they click, so they are in sync, your personal setup and the cultural background, and sometimes they can be different. Very cool. Thank you, Liz. And let's see, room 2. Now I can see the rooms. Anna and Dilnoza. I don't know if I pronounced your name right.
Yes, right. So we discussed mostly, I think, the personal level of these issues, not so much the cultural one. And yeah, for me personally, that was, I realized in the process of discussion that I am a risk taker in the learning process. And I can say that I was really unaware of this because yeah, I can take some rise to very great challenges in the learning process. And that's why I decided that I'm more a risk taker than a risk averse person. And yeah, and for me, that was a revelation because I could never think of myself in such terms.
I'm very happy.
Yeah, that was really interesting. Yeah, and coming back to the previous discussion, yeah, I could also relate to this cultural differences because I think even the process of how we teach and how we coach is very dependent on the culture, and what is acceptable in one culture might be totally unacceptable for the others. So that is also a very interesting observation.
Absolutely. Yeah, and then you can also think about this in a way that as you are trying to make someone or get them think in a certain way, or try to encourage them or to go in one direction or the other, maybe they cannot due to their cultural background, due to their mindset. And if we are aware of that, if they are aware of that, we can then work more successfully together if we are both aware of what the circumstances are, what the restrictions are. And room 3, Carrie, Anna, and Aggie, what did you guys discuss? Anna, I don't. Yeah,
I'm here. Sorry. This is an excellent topic, and actually we could not finish it all. We agreed on that really because that was a bit but it doesn't matter. So we agreed on that all of us are all of us are ambiguity tolerant, and we discussed how important it is in our own language learning path, for example, or in case for learners, that we really we just try to gather the meaning from the context, and we are all risk takers, and we also discussed how important it is that you just I don't know, you're not afraid of mistakes, and then you just communicate through your ideas. And this is where we stopped. Maybe the others can help me whether they are intuitive thinkers or analytical thinkers, but I think we are very same in this regard.
Okay. Yeah. Very good, Anna. Thank you so much for summarizing that. Yeah, it's no just like to get the idea started, and then basically why it's good to be aware of these things is that because you can then make or get your client or students think in a certain way, and they will be more aware of what they can look at, how they can look at it, how they can use it. And for that, I brought this study plan idea for you. And the idea is that because it's autonomous learning and the online world, or in the online world, I thought of this, that I created this little study plan in Canva, which I love using. And you could give this to your learners, your clients, and ask them what they use in their daily lives, how they could use them for studying. And because I know goals and goal setting is very important for coaching, like how long they could use it for, how often they can use it. And actually, I'm going to share a different window now. Because it's not what I wanted to share. I'm sorry. Sorry, a different window. I don't know where. Oh, got it. Sorry. So I just brought you my example, and I thought you could join in as well. I wanted to really say something that's not the usual, oh, I use this language learning app, but something that is not usual. So I study Russian and Belarusian in my free time. And I use Google Maps and Waze when I'm driving. And I thought that, well, I'll set Google Maps into Russian and Waze into Belarusian. And as I'm driving, I can listen to the differences as they are telling me to turn left and right. And then I can compare the two languages in my free time. And it's, for me, it seems to be a very good way to learn new differences, because I can do it twice a month for 1 or 2 hours, because I usually go on longer rides, and then one way is in Russian, the other way is in Belarusian, and I can have a lot of fun doing that. And I was thinking that you could think about your language learning or language learning possibilities outside of these language learning apps and websites. What could you do? What could you use for the purpose of studying? Now, with a quick show of hands, can you show me if you are actually studying any other languages? 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. More. Okay, more people join in. Okay, so whatever language you are studying, even if you're like, oh, I just opened this book yesterday, we are going to call you language learners. So I'm going to send you back into these breakout rooms, the same ones you were in. I'll share the link to this Jamboard. And what I'd like you to do is discuss. You can see it on page or frame 2, and then you get frame 3, frame 4. So there are only 3 groups. And I'd like you to add an idea or two to this study plan. What kind of apps and websites you use that are not specifically learning focused, but you could use them for learning this additional language somehow in your free time. What is it? How could you use it? How long can you use it for? Do you know how to use Jamboard? Is there anybody who doesn't know? Okay, so at least some of you are nodding. Okay, I trust you. If not, call me in. I'll help. Okay, so first I'm going to quickly send the link to you. Okay. All right, here we go. Please open it up now, and then when I send you in the breakout rooms, you will be able to edit it. Okay, very good. I can see you are joining. That's awesome. And again, I'll give you 4 minutes plus 1. Okay, so this time you get 4 plus 1. All right, off you go.
You get the link first and then join.
Yeah, I think should be fine. Maybe I'll change this to room 1 just in case so they don't get lost. Okay. And room 3. Perfect. Okay. So Gabi, do you have something like this that you could use for your German?
Well, I'm a relative beginner, but I'm very interactive. So the lessons that we do are usually me talking, and my teacher, comes up with vocabulary that's missing for me. So it's kind of scaffolding me all along. But one thing that got me interested in learning German again was that I got an invitation to join there's a German version of LinkedIn.
Oh, okay.
And it's not LinkedIn, it's another website. I can't remember the name. I haven't used it for a while, but it's great because you can read articles in German about, becoming an entrepreneur, business in Germany. So really relevant things if you're interested in that kind of thing, of course. And I just found that really, really interesting that, oh, wow, this is in German, and, it's so relevant, and it's very up to date, and, it's very fresh and, happening now. So that was a big thing for me, that I'm actually reading about things I'm interested in, usually in English, but I'm reading it in German. And actually, you can kind of guess, I'd say 30-40% of what's going on. Wow, we've got something interesting.
Yes. Yeah, because I couldn't make it into a proper background image. Well, they managed to change it. I'm not sure if I can change it back for them. Uh-oh. Well, they were very smart in doing this. I won't be able to do it for them, but yeah, they now lost it, unfortunately. I will add what apps, how and how long.
Yeah,
okay.
Pull it there. Yeah. Great. Yeah, wonderful. Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Solved it. Okay. But yeah, I totally like that idea. I do that. I do the same actually with Russian, because I follow a Facebook page. This is the so it's how to teach Russian in Moscow. So it's the methodological department of the Moscow State University, and it's basically the same thing I'm doing. So I'm familiar with it in Russian.
Right. Okay. Yeah. So it's always a good starting point. I think that if you're learning a language through something which you are really familiar with as a topic, and then it can just, pull you through. So that's quite a lot of useful help, because you can guess a lot. And I think it's great for autonomy, right? So
yes.
that you're in familiar terrain, kind of. So
exactly.
That's helpful. Mm-hmm. What are you seeing on these Jamboards here?
Yeah, so I can see that people are adding a lot of ideas, and it's going very well. I could see Netflix popping up as the first choice. I wasn't surprised. Oh, they also managed to move the image a little bit, but now it looks very cool. Radio, okay, for listening and reading 5-10 minutes a day. And I actually like this bite-sized short sessions of learning. I think that's a very good one. And Flipgrid, okay, do you know?
No, I don't. I've heard of it, but I don't.
Yeah, it's a very I'm gonna ask those who wrote it. It's a cool website for language learning, and they will come back in 2 seconds actually. So then we can discuss.
Here we go.
Oh, okay, very good. I could see what was going on. Amazing work. You guys sort of managed to alter the image a little bit, so I decided to get rid of it completely and then just create sticky notes for the categories. But lots of interesting things happened to these images, but interesting ideas popped up as well. So room 3, I changed the group name. So room 3, Netflix came up. Popular choice, very good. And you mentioned watching target language with target language subtitles. Okay.
Yeah, so like if I'm watching a French show on Netflix, my strategy for that is, and that would be my target language, instead of watching it with English subtitles, my native language, I'll put it in target language subtitles. And that way I'm making that quick connection that I can't necessarily follow. So like how, film and television can be very fast and very native like, but I can read it and make the connection to the sound.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a very, very good idea. And also, I guess, Carrie, you're watching things on Netflix that interest you.
Absolutely. Yeah, like for things I watch for entertainment. Absolutely.
That's right. And I like these other ideas as well. Watching yoga in Italian, awesome idea. Cookbook in a certain language, that can definitely help. And set the language on the phone. Yeah, I do that as well. And what we can see here, radio and script. And then I'm going to come back to Flipgrid. Financial news in Polish. Tim, is that you?
Yes, that's correct. Yeah, I run my own business and I teach a lot of people who run their own businesses. So it helps me learn a bit about it helps me learn a bit about what they're experiencing, what is going on with me for my business, and it helps my Polish at the same time. So
exactly, it seems that most of us mention things that we are, and this is how it can connect back to this intrinsic motivation. We are interested in these things. We know a bit about these things, so it's easier for us to actually learn about them, get to know about certain things in another language, but within the realm of this topic that we are quite aware of. And Gabi mentioned that this gives us a little bit of security, something that we can rely on. And this is a step for becoming a more autonomous learner. We don't want to jump in right away into unknown territory. We want to like grow our little arms slow or tentacles, or yeah. So Flipgrid. Flipgrid, I don't know who wrote that, but that might be a website that maybe you are not familiar with. So it was somebody, maybe Anna Glenosa? No?
Well, it
Okay.
it was Tilnoza's idea, so maybe she can tell more about it.
Okay, well, because I could hear some children noises from Dilnoza's background, maybe she cannot speak, but I'll help you out with that. Flipgrid is a website that you can use for video, not message, but video task recording. So you set a task, for example, talk about your previous holiday, and then your students, your client can record a video message. And you can respond to that in a video message, or you can write text feedback, but it's video based. And this is a good idea, actually. So you could even ask them to record videos for themselves. So you don't even want to watch it. They just do it for themselves every day, just a bit of self-talk, and then it can be viewed later on. Okay. Oh, Liz says that Flipgrid is a great tool. Absolutely. And you can use it for peer evaluation as well. They can evaluate each other. So as we said before, self-evaluation, peer evaluation, it's very good, although a little bit intimidating, but I believe that if you set an example as the teacher, you do, or you take a video of yourself as well, speaking another language, not English. So you show an example, they can feel this, that, okay, if my teacher or my coach did it, I can do it too. It's not scary. Very good. So this is a first step, like how I can use things around me that I spend time with anyways, how I can use it for my own learning. And I know that I'm kind of running out of time, but I just want to show you one more thing. And we're not going to do any breakout room discussions for this. But I just want to show you other websites. Now, these are things that are actually, most of them are learning centered, learning related. You're probably familiar with a couple of them, like Quizlet, Drops, which is a language learning app I use a lot. It's just 5 minutes a day. Somebody also said this 5 or 10 minutes a day, and it's enough. Now, what about the others? Do you happen to know any other logos? Netflix is there, of course.
TikTok.
Do you know TikTok? Yeah. Anything else?
Spotify, Grammarly.
Oh, yeah, this is Grammarly, exactly. So I use TikTok videos for language learning, again, bite-sized. So they are very short. You can set the topics you're interested in, and then you get whatever authentic content you get. So based on the content you select, you get lots of authentic content. I know it's littered with lots of other things as well, but for example, now my algorithm knows that I'm interested in corporate English like videos, and I also watch Russian funny videos, but since they are very short, very fast, it's intense listening practice I can do before going to bed, for example. I put in here ReadLang. I'm not sure if anybody's familiar with that website. What it does, it's a similar tool to Grammarly. Grammarly helps with what kind of skill?
Grammar.
In writing.
Exactly. Very good. So grammar in writing, that's right. So how you can write better. And ReadLang is sort of how you can read better. So ReadLang is actually a website and an extension. You can use it as a Chrome extension, and then it works. So you look at a website in the target language, and you click on the extension, and whenever you hover over or click on a word in the target language that you don't know, it quickly offers a translation. And then you can select that, oh, this word is actually useful for me, so put it in my word bank. So it functions as a quick translator and flashcard website. So you can save all the words that you didn't know or you want to save for later, and then you can recycle these words. And it's a very handy little extension for you. And basically what I just wanted to show you with this very, very quickly is that you can recommend these tools. There are language learning ones, but you can recommend Spotify is great for finding podcasts. And this pink one is actually a habit tracker, because you said that, okay, 5-10 minutes or once a week or twice a week, set a productivity app, and then you can track it that, okay, I actually did spend 5 hours, 5 minutes a day on this activity. Usually, like for example, Drops and other apps look at your streak, and then you can also track yourself how persistent you are. And if you are not that persistent, maybe a habit tracker can help. But all these tools are for you or for the learner client to use in their own free time. They can use these to help them work better and speak better. And my final thing, we're only going to have time for one. I'm really just interested in what you think about these 2 learners that I created. Actually, you decide which you want, like these orange boxes open up. You can then look at the learner and recommend some ideas, what kind of apps they could use, what sort of things they could use to maximize the learning potential and the learning time. So let's just do a very quick vote, either in the chat or just put up your hand. A is going to be 1, B is going to be 2, maybe the easiest if you show up a number in the camera. So which client would you like to look at? 2, 2, 2. Interesting. Okay, I got 3 votes. All of them want 2. So we're going to look at that one. I need to actually get rid of the box. So here we go. So Nikita is going to be a key account manager, okay, at a machine engineering company, Central European region. And he wants to be, for some reason, I cannot see anybody anymore. Oh, I don't know what I'm doing now. Sorry, you all disappeared from my screen. Yes, now I can see you. So he wants to be sociable because he has never been a key account manager before. He wants to communicate well, and he likes all these things: working out, cars, motorbikes, and woodwork. Is there anything, and I'm going to make this an open discussion because our time is almost up. Is there anything you could recommend him? Any ideas?
I jumped with one thing. For me, his hobbies are completely like the kind of videos that you can find on YouTube. I know it's a very obvious choice, but it's where you will find, or even on Facebook, you can find a lot of groups for these kind of things. Yeah, absolutely. So I think,
yeah, YouTube videos, absolutely.
He could get in touch with other people, other communities who are interested. I mean, these typical, maybe not the working out, I don't know, but the cars, motorbikes, woodwork, they just say this kind of, sharing tips and ideas, so that sort of thing, in the target language, of course. Yeah.
Very good. Support communities and how to do woodwork. Very good, very good. Any other ideas how he could?
He can join Facebook groups or can listen to podcasts, so that he can extend the networking. He can extend the friendship circle, and then maybe he can get in touch with these people and also get vocabulary.
Very good. Yeah, absolutely. Podcasts, Facebook groups. Yes, because he wants to be sociable, right? So he wants to learn this, how to become friends with other people. Okay. Maybe if there was a woodwork conference or wood chopping conference, then he could go and take part and network there. Okay. So basically, the idea was here that we have this person, and of course we want to guide them on their path, on their language learning path, but we can help them realize all the things they can do outside of the meeting sessions, language lessons. So all kinds of things that usually, and that's why I included the hobbies. It's good that if we try to appeal to their hobbies and their interests, because as you mentioned as well, you do all the things in your target language, like all these things are interesting to you and you're engaged. And that's why that is so important. And since we're on our phones day in, day out, why not use it 24/7 for our language learning benefits? And this is actually what I wanted to share with you. And thank you very much for listening to me. And what would you like to discuss? And the final slide.
Okay, yes. Okay, thank you very much. And Jo, congratulations, you finished on time. I think we're super time tolerant, but this has been absolutely fantastic. So I really enjoyed it. I'd be curious to hear everyone's personal takeaways, because there were a few really interesting ideas, a lot of stimulating discussions. Anything that you'd like to share which you're leaving with today, or if you've got any questions to Jo, because I know she's got lots of tools and apps and I don't know, extensions and whatnots in her bag, but limited time. So any questions or comments that you have?
Liz.
I have a question about the slide that you showed with all the different logos. Can you say what they were again? One of them was called Drops. I had never heard of that.
Right.
Is that something that's free, that Drops thing?
Yeah, Drops, I love that. It's a free, freemium as all. What you get with it is, if you just use the free version, it gives you 5 minutes of practice time for each day, and it gives you drops of words. That's where the name comes from. So you get, like, it's a vocab learning app, but now they are moving into chunks. So they are becoming a more chunk oriented app, and you always get a new drop, and it's visual. So it's all about visuals. You're always connecting the word to an image, and then you keep working with that particular image. You need to connect it, you need to spell it, but it's always image based.
Okay. And then the blue one with the little brain, what'd you say that one was?
That is my personal favorite. I always include it. Anna, do you know what it is?
I just wanted to ask the same. I was really interested.
It's called Elevate. It's a brain training app, actually, but 90% of it is language and 10% is math. It is freemium, so you get like 5 games per day for free, and then if you pay, then you get more games. You can select what kind of games you want. What I use this for, it's really useful for actually exam preparation, because it separates skills. So you can practice punctuation, you can practice spelling, listening, but it makes you practice retention. So you always need to memorize certain details about people or their speed reading, reading comprehension, all kinds of it's very detailed in the tasks that are on offer. And the animation is beautiful. And I think it's so cool. And it watches, it tracks how you are advancing. So if you reach a high score, then they are going to increase the difficulty. Okay, now reach a high score again, and it keeps evolving with you.
Yeah, nice. Okay. And then the big one you said was also brain training, right? What was that one called?
It's Habit Tracker. So that's the name, Habit Tracker.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. The others. Yeah, you probably know Grammarly, and Readlang was the new one I think I mentioned. Yeah, okay, thank you.
Great. Yeah, absolutely. I like this idea of drops. I'm very visual, so for me that's going to be a go-to. I think after we finish, I'm just going to go and look it up. So definitely.
Yeah, that's why I started using it. Yeah. Also, and that's how everything connects, right? Because if you know that you are this visual type, it works for you, then you know that this app will probably work for you. Or if you're unsure, then you can check, and we can then make this offer that here are these certain apps. Take a look and try the one that works for you. And I'm pretty sure that some people won't like drops, but some people will.
That's the good thing. While everyone was in breakout rooms, we were talking about this, that it's great to be, to know what your preferences are, and then you can just follow that path, because it's going to increase your efficiency and to make you more motivated to work on your things. So if I like drops, it's going to be more engaging for me, the whole learning experience, whereas if I have to work with something which is test-based, which no, it's not going to be attractive for me. It's not going to be something like, A, B, C, D, and what's the right solution. I don't give a monkey's, quite honestly, whether it's or D. But if it's something visual, then oh yes, I love that, and I love being interactive. So it's going to be much more pushing me towards sitting down every day just for those few minutes. So
absolutely,
that's a really good tip. Any other ideas that you're taking away? And I know that our time is up, so just some final comments. Anything from Anna, Agi, I don't know, Anna, Dinoza, Tim.
I think so it's very important to give learners a choice and to show them a lot of different things that are available, and not only websites, but I don't know, different ways to record vocabulary, so that they themselves can choose what works best for them. So I don't know, analytical learners might want to write down the the English word with the translation. Visual learners might want to make mind maps, but these ideas they don't necessarily come from the learner. So have to show them these different strategies or ways or apps or websites, so that they can choose for themselves.
So the way that the teacher or the trainer or the coach will be a facilitator a little bit, so that they can present these ideas. So that's why we have to take part in CPD, so that we know what's going on, and then the learner, the client, can choose. So that's the great breakthrough now, that we don't have to tell them you have to use this, because there's no such thing as have to, because there's so many other things on offer. So that's great. Any other comments or ideas?
But I sorry, I'm just gonna use the silence. I really like what Aggie said, that yeah, we need to give them choice. And I remember I wanted a student or a learner of mine to try Flipgrid, and she did try it, but she didn't want to record her face. So actually it turned into an audio recording activity. She sent her, because she wanted to practice telephone conversations. So I gave her this kind of homework that you need to record some kind of a telephone call conversation, but she didn't want to record her face. So it was just an audio recording, and that's totally fine. If she's like, she did the task, I could reply, and that was perfectly fine.
Yeah, it's also about, you know, we were talking about tolerance, and the teacher and the coach also has to be tolerant towards the learner, so that we don't push our expectations onto them. So that's a different, you know, a different talk, but that's also connected to this in a way. So it's, if we offer a lot of ideas, then we shouldn't expect the learner to choose one way, but really be tolerant and accepting and more open in our approach, I think. So it's this wonderful, you know, kaleidoscope of things going on, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So Jo, thank you very much for being
Thank you.
Thank you. And once again, do register for our YouTube channel, because we've got all the talks up there, and every month there's a new one. So we're looking forward to those next year also. So thank you very much for being here.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Jo. Again, if you've got any questions or you missed something, then do send us an email. Okay, so thank you very much for being here. I'm going to stop the recording now, and thank you to everyone. Bye-bye. Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.